Why are you pretending to care about debate when you're just going to initiate violence afterward? Leftists pretend to be philosophers, as though agents of the state engage in philosophy. When do tax collectors, bureaucrats, or police engage in philosophy? From what I've seen, their ethic is as long as I'm on the clock, and as long as politicians call it legal, then literally anything is okay. It's just following orders. And for the leftists who claim to not support that, if you simply change the oppressor's name from the executive branch to the community, or start calling politicians the workers, suddenly what was aggression becomes defense. And when socialists calling themselves the community are seizing a small business, will they stop and go away if the business owner offers a good enough argument? Can homeowners prevent their land from being stolen by being prepared with a clever syllogism for when the workers arrive? When has anyone ever been safe from groups like Antifa by being ready to point out their fallacies? Socialists don't debate to reach truth, they debate to accumulate political capital. To them, it doesn't matter if it's right to steal, what matters is getting the police on their side. When you don't believe in principles, of course you're going to be obsessed with power. The entire point of political power is to make persuasion unnecessary, to replace voluntary consent with command. That is the true nature of the state, legalized aggression. Hans Hermann Hoppe formalized what is easy to intuitively know about the hypocrisy of the statist. Argumentation ethics shows that this hypocrisy, the pretense of thugs claiming to care about truth, is not accidental, it is structural. A person who argues for coercion is acting out a contradiction. To argue is to engage in peaceful exchange and to acknowledge each person as the owner of themselves. To endorse aggression is to renounce those very norms that make argument possible and that make the market possible. So be careful when demanding a proof for an ethic that involves aggression. What would such a proof even consist of? The only way for your opponent to be consistent in their position regarding aggression would be to push debate aside and attack someone, maybe you. But that wouldn't be an argument, that would be a rejection of argumentation. Violence outside of self-defense is not a form of reasoning, but it's negation. Public policy can never be anarchist because it always involves authorized aggression. That is the folly of conservatism and objectivism. They know they lack principles, so they pretend principles are impractical or arbitrary, respectively. The closest thing to an argument for aggression would have to be a kidnapping, or maybe a punch in the face. But threatening or striking someone proves nothing, except that you have abandoned reason. Hoppe's point is, you can't coherently argue in support of coercion, because every argument already presupposes voluntary, non-aggressive interaction. The very act of argumentation reveals the inescapable nature of human action, and that it is individual. The moment someone opens their mouth to persuade, they've already conceded the principles of non-aggression and self-ownership. Everything else is just noise, or worse, a rationalization for the next act of violence.